Good morning. How about my new show entrance? This is Lisa Copeland coming to you live from Austin, Texas. Today is Thursday, October 18th. And I want to thank my good friend and what I call my IT director, Ken Walls, for making that fancy show entry or video for me and all of the new badging on my show. First of all, thank you for joining me. And I'm super excited because I spend 15 minutes every single morning, 365 days a year, speaking my truth and talking about what motivates me and what keeps me fierce 365 days a year. So if you're out there and you like this show, if you'll let me know that you're out there, this is a little bit different show format. Oh, I can see. Okay, now I can see everybody. So I see Josh and I see David. And but if you'll like it, if you'll share it, if you'll comment, if you'll leave me hearts or unhappy faces or faces, that would be awesome. Because I want to know what you guys are thinking and what kind of effect the show's having on you. So as you guys know, I am studying Outwitting the Devil, which is a book that absolutely changed my life personally. And so we've been talking about what it is to be a drifter, right? And we've all been drifters in life. It happens. And so to be fierce, you've got to have a mindset of fierce and you've got to commit to it unapologetically. That's why it says here, unapologetically. When I came up with the Fierce brand, it's like so many times people go out there and they've got big, audacious dreams. And then one person shoots them down. One person says, you're crazy. And they're like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It's just something I wanted to do. And I'm just like, if you're going to be fierce, if you're going to go out and change the world or your world, you've got to be unapologetic about it. So unapologetically is just as important to me as fierce. And fierce is an acronym. Is to be fearless. It's to take initiative. It's to be enthusiastic. It is to be relentless. It is to crush approval addiction. And lastly, it's to execute. Because if you don't execute, like I said in a keynote speech a couple weeks ago, you suck. And I was kind of tongue in cheek, but I mean it. You've got to execute. Because I know so many people who have great ideas. They're really, really bright people. But they just spend their life spinning and spinning and spinning and just can't get stuff to the finish line. And if you can't get it to the finish line, you can't get a paycheck, and so that's such a deal breaker for me one way or the other is if somebody can execute. And if they can't execute, I say I have to execute them because we can't swim in the same lane. So that's my business advice for the day. So drifters, that's what we were talking about yesterday. We talked about, the seven principles to attain spiritual, mental, and physical freedom that Napoleon Hill talks about in the book, Outwitting the Devil, edited and annotated by my dear friend Sharon Lecter. So I'm going to review the seven really quick. And then today we're going to start with principle number one. So principle number one is definiteness of purpose, which is what we're going to talk about. Mastery over self, learning from adversity, right? Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Controlling environmental influences, which is your associations. Napoleon Hill talks about the power of association. You are who you hang out with. You are the sum of the people you hang out with. End of story. Number 5 is time, giving permanency to positive thoughts rather than negative thoughts and habits and developing wisdom. Where do you spend your time? Where do you let your mind hover and spend its time? In the negative? Do you let it spend time in fear? Remember, danger is real, but fear is a choice. Do you choose fear every day? That's what I want to help you break through. If that's your choice, if that is one of your limiting beliefs. And hey, we've all got it. You've just got to learn how to control it. Number 6 is harmony. Acting with definiteness of purpose to become the dominating influence in your own mental, spiritual, and physical environment. And then last but not least is number 7. It's caution. Thinking about your plan before you act. How many times, are you in a heated debate with somebody and, they send an email out to you and you think, okay, oh boy, I'm going to shoot that right back to them. I'm going to let them know what I think. Believe me, I've done it more times than once. And what I've learned to do is to get up, walk away, take a breath, have a cup of coffee. Do you always know it's my coffee? Because you can tell there's lipstick. And I'm never sure which side I should drink off of. So I just drink the whole thing. But that's what Hill talks about with caution, is to take caution before you speak. Think about what you're going to say. Think about how you're going to react to a situation. Because once you say it or write it, you can never take it back. That goes along with your personal life too, with your spouse. I mean, I've just learned a lot of times that I walk away sometimes, because I'm not going to engage in the argument, or I'm not going to engage in the fight, because it never ends well. And then nobody wins. So, words of wisdom from somebody who's been around for a long time. All right, so for those of you that are just joining in, it's Lisa Copeland, Be Fierce 365. Oh, I haven't even told you guys this. I think I'm going to change the show name to 15 Minutes of Fierce with Lisa Copeland. So give me a thumbs up if you like 15 Minutes of Fierce with Lisa Copeland. I cannot read all of your responses live. I'm so glad you're here, but leave me comments. I will comment back to you, I promise. And share it out. If it's never good to be fierce by yourself. So share it out, like it, comment. I will get back with you on it. So let's dig into definiteness of purpose, which I love. So that's the number one principle that Hill talks about to attain spiritual, mental, and physical freedom. So let's talk about it. So the book is really, it is a conversation that with Napoleon Hill, who is the greatest thought leader of our time. And of course, many of you know him because he wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. And if you don't know him, as my friend Sharon Lechter says, you do know him. Hill says there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And his work is everywhere. And there wouldn't be motivational speakers like myself and Tony Robbins and, The Secret, all of that if there wasn't a Napoleon Hill. So as he's interviewing the devil, he has a lot of questions for him. Now, the setting of this book is 1935 to 1938, somewhere in that area. And the questions that he asks the devil are unbelievable because they're so ahead of his time. So to get in the mind of this man, of Napoleon Hill, I cannot even imagine what my friend Sharon, well, I can't imagine because she's told me, what it was like to pull that manuscript out of the vault after being locked up for 70 plus years, and to have the honor of going through and editing the work of the great Napoleon Hill. And she says, if you go back a few shows, you can watch it. She says, I didn't have to do a lot of editing.